you can recall several years ago, there was a deliberate devaluation of pound. It happened 7 or 8 years ago. But the parliament reversed it. So we went back to the fixed rate for the dollar and in other currencies. And then there was also market rate. And then the third rate, which is, you call them black market. And we continue until the same episodes happen again. We devaluated our pounds. The reason why we devaluated were not actually studied. Some of it were just impulsive reaction, which has not been cushioned back. So if people thinking that if you raise the dollar price and devaluate pound, then you would stop the black market. Black market is a shadow. You can never pin down the shadows. So that's where we got it wrong. Now, what is happening here, our country is working on what we call free market economy. And free market economy is always a function of goods, supplies, and services. Now, if we don't supply any goods, then we're only doing what we call demand. There should be an element of you supply to meet the demand. Now, dollar became a commodity that is supplied. And then the demand is higher than what we supply. That actually has created a difference between what you can purchase and what your money value is. So this always has impacted on especially the low-income families. Although our economy operates in different ways, there is this core 3 to 5% of elites that mostly are controlling what we call formal economy. The rest of 95 is infamous economy. People are selling tea, people are selling bread, people are selling some small goods on the roadside. That is the majority of us, but they are not a part of the formal economy. So the impact actually is felt by this 3 to 5% heavily more than those infamous ones, because they never go to the cycle. So whether things are up or down, they still maintain their status. And that's what should have been looked into it. Yes, the impact is great, because whenever the dollar goes up, the pound dropped, price goes up, they never come down. Even if dollar goes back a bit, if the pound gains some strength, it does not actually reflect on the market. Market always rising. And this is actually, there is a lot of exploitation from the businesses. Since there is no anybody to stop or any intervention from the government to regulate the prices, then the market actually takes its own course. That's why it goes up. Fuel was 100 pounds, 500 pounds, 1,000, 2,000, sometimes went to nearly 10,000. Okay? And nobody, only market forces alone do that. Now, when you do that, you should actually cushion this with productivity. We don't produce anything. And our neighboring countries have exploited this. We are not producing even our own food, which can be grown around us. We don't do that. So we see it's more costly to do a local production, which is wrong. So I know it's something that we're not going to get the answers immediately, but you need a little bit of study. Another thing also you need to understand, when people need dollars, what do they want dollar for? You see, that has not been studied. We should know how much dollar we need and what for. If we need dollar for importation, to import goods, then there is a normal way you do that. You do what we call LC, letter of credit. It should be done between a bank and a bank. And then you create what we call trading accounts between countries. So the importer comes to the bank, they deposit equivalent to the goods that they are importing, and then the bank continue to do the other operations. So you can only receive your goods here. You don't have to take cash to go and buy from there. And the other party also receive their money through their bank. This also has been the way to control this pressure on pound. But since we have dropped that, we are not working on that. That's why we have come to this. So local communities, now I can see nobody actually cares about what's going on in the economy. You can see people are running their own life. And that is not going to benefit the national economy cycles. It is really negative. That's why we are feeling this heat. But if you go to the countryside, people don't care. They're just doing their own stuff, which means that we are running two parallel economies. And until we make the merge to be one line, it will be taking a lot of us to think deeply. First of all, there is a distinct difference between physical and monetary. Monetary is a tool that used by the central bank. It's completely on money market. The physical is a government policies. So government policies now they are formulated, and then the bank now struck out of it what is a physical policy. So in that case, the government and the Bank of South Sudan must really work collaboratively so that this matter of somebody running his own policies on a different note should be made to merge. So our physical is now not clear what is it that we are up to. The bank now can change things, can add, can subtract, but it is only on the money. So these are different things. Bank of South Sudan should be, or the central bank for that matter, is a little bit autonomous. It's autonomous to deal with the money market, money business only. Government fiscal policy is to do spending and taxation and adjustment of spending here and there. Bank is responsible for interest rate, is responsible for money printing. Even printing money is a bank's. Bank has to see what reserve does it have for you to print. You don't print because you want to print notes. You have to have a reserve to cover because this is cost. So if you have got 100 million, you need to print equivalent to 20% of that 100 million so that you can keep your reserve. And then work hard to make sure that you refund this reserve that you print. So that's why it is important to have money market. This is a Bank of South Sudan can do that. You see, normally, when the currency is weak, it should attract investors. Because if we had to have a strong pound that is equivalent to $3, no one will invest here. Because you bring your money, they will not be able to buy or to invest the capital you wanted to achieve. That's why investors go to where the currency is weak. To bring their own dollars in here, then they invest. Now the missing gap here is the power of our local currency. If our local currency was powerful, you have 5 pounds, you can buy water, and it is weak against the dollar. Then now you are actually attracting the investor. But in this case, it is the other way around. It's different. You know, is you come with the dollars, you exchange them, you get huge sum of pounds, and they are valueless. So you better keep your dollars instead of coming to exchange them to a lower value, which has no value, because our money do not have value here. That's the main problem now. If our money was strong enough to be able to purchase, because the purchasing power of our money is very weak. If you have 10 pounds, can buy you a loaf of bread, then you can invest here, because the power to use to buy goods is stronger, but now it's not. So that's why investors are a little bit scared, because this, and then there is no stability. The third element, there is no currency, there's no dollars in the market. If investors bring their dollars to here, they will be consumed by our market. And then if they needed the dollars, they will not get them. So also another thing scaring people. The fourth element, you see, we are facing some challenges. Some people think that there is no peace in this country, although I don't agree with that. That element of not letting investors know this country is peaceful is also a problem. We have to go out and promote, because we are missing this promotion. We have to promote our country, even to neighbors. Now the neighbors are coming here thinking that they're taking the risk. But it has not been a risky thing, because all the world market, they have got risk. There is always, if you do market survey, you'll see there are areas where the market is high, and then in a minute it plunges down. So the market volatility is an international thing. So it does not actually mean the risk that much. But we are not able now to really to tell the investors, this is what you can gain when you come here. Those brave ones, like Somalis, people from Eritrea, people from Ethiopia, they are brave enough, they have come to test it out, and they are making a lot of money. Where is the risk here? It is us to inform investors and encourage them, promote our country to them, promote what is available for them to invest, and then guarantee their money. If they want to take their money anytime back to their countries, it is guaranteed. So we need to work around those things so that we secure the investment confidence. You know, there are a number of mixed up statements there. One, printing currency, according to the governor of the Bank of South Sudan, it means as an interim measure, a short term. It is an intervention to address the shortage of cash in the market. According to them, that is their explanation, which means that there is so much money outside of the formal banking circle, and that I've said it earlier, 95% of us are operating outside of the normal economic cycles. These 95, they are keeping some cash. They don't have a trust in the banking system, so that's why they keep the money at home. May not be they alone, may have other big shots that are keeping a lot of cash out of the system. So the bank is going to do an intervention. But that intervention will not be sustained if you don't address the reason why people are not taking their money to the bank. So that needs to be addressed that first. Banks must be made to be accountable, must be made to be producing products that encourages people to bring their money and bank them, because you don't put your money in the bank and then bank begin to deduct money on a daily basis or a monthly basis, and you are not getting anything. So that's discouraging people to keep their money. And then when you come to the bank and say, I need my money, you don't get them. So this thing actually is really need to be sorted out properly. And if you don't do that, you're not going to head anywhere. Other thing also need to do, we have got a small denomination. And I said earlier, our currency become worthless. Something that you used to buy at a pound, you're buying now 5,000. So you need to have a huge money of 5,000. So what I have suggested, and nobody listened to this, first, there are two, as I said earlier, there are a number of scenarios here. First, the large sum of money you carry to go and buy, it is valueless, but the volume is big. So you need to condense. It is not deleting zeros or adding zeros, but you condense it. Instead of having 5,000, you add, 1,000, you add 5,000. Bring bigger notes, bigger denominations. So you can condense this, because it's the same thing, it's the same. Something was 10,000, if you bring 10,000 in 100, you have a bulk of it. But you can one note, 10,000, you have condensed that. So actually you have secured having huge amount of money being carried in boxes or in big buses or whatever that is. So you solve that. But it is not solving the problem of the value of the currency. For us to increase our value of our currency, we need to produce. We need to produce, and we need to stop overspending. We need to review our spending nature. We need also to control the flow of the hard currency. I said in 2018, I said there will come a time we are going to dollarize our market. And I think it has come now. Everything now is equivalent to dollar. I went here to ask to do my nails, and the lady told me it's $5 straight away like that. And I said, why $5? She said, oh, okay, you can pay in pounds, which is 30,000. So you see now, we have dollarized our market without us knowing. Now these enterprises, they are selling it in dollars. So our pound now is useless. So I don't understand why we're keeping pounds out. We should begin to have a conversation with America so we can print dollars here and we use dollars as our currency. Because pound is nobody wanted to work with it. They tell you it's $5, $10, $15, but that thing, which is huge. So condensation is an element here. But as I said earlier, we're not going to stop the fact that our currency is value. Whether you condense it to 100 million or whatever it is, it would be like Zimbabwe. They used to have a million note, but it did not change the value of the currency. We need to work to improve and increase the weight of our currency. And the only way you can do that, you need to do production. We are not producing completely. The other element that these people need to understand, cash circulation is limited. You know, the way I vision our economy, it's this is a center, and then the 10 states and 3 administrative areas. Money come from Juba to these areas. These areas now, they form a small economic circles between themselves. If you send money to Bantiu today, they never come back to the center. They remain there. They do their own circle there. They never come back. So that's why money is actually sucked down. And now there's heavy loads of money in the states. If you go to your village now, you'll find 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 20, and so on. They are there. Although they are valueless, but they're there. They are not coming back to the national circulation. So we need to create linkages between the state's economy and the national economy. By doing what? You have to go, instead of you going buy tomatoes, onion, groundnuts from Uganda, you need to encourage the states to produce and then import them. You see, Western Equatoria is full of groceries, it's full of vegetables. You should open these roads you bring. Lake States has got more of products. You should also open so that you buy. So people will bring their goods to sell here, and then go remain here, and then so you need to create this machinery of between states and the national, rather than one way, because we work here, we get a little money, you send it to their family at home, and they never come back. You need to create products so you can bring this money back. We have to do that. Also, we need to go down a little bit to do some initiatives. What is good in Upper Nile, for example, as a region? What is it good there? Upper Nile, we do know that they've got animals, we've got fish, and so on. So we should be able to do a mini conferences to identify the potentials of this region. And these potentials of this region, we put them into a promotional aspect, so we promote it. And then we go to Baragazal, and then we go to this Equatoria. What is it good here? Once you identify this now, you promote them nationwide. If you know that there's fish in Upper Nile, then you promote fish to Western Equatoria. So now, Western Equatoria will buy fish from Upper Nile. So we get our own circle ourselves. We can begin to do those. So we'll actually release and relax the dependency on imports. Mind you now, we import fish fillet from Uganda. Mind you now, we import meat from Uganda. Why? It's because we have not given a chance to our local production here. So we need to review this imports thing. I am really very critical. What should we import to this country? There are certain things we should not import them. Stop it. People will not like it for the first 3 months, but later on they will know this is the... If I am in the Minister of Trade now, I will tell nobody bring fresh produce from Uganda, never. And then you support the local people here, the market is available. So we need to go back to these scenarios to see how we can strengthen our pound. The whole thing is how you can make our pound strong again, as it used to be. We need to review what do we import to this country. That's one. Number two, what do we need dollar for? Is it social? Is it political? Is it commercial? We need to know. And how much dollars do we need a day? You know, Juba market, or we call bad Juba now. It's not about the whole country, it's Juba. How much dollars do you need a day? You control that, and then you introduce LC. Then now you come back and encourage the local production by giving them incentives. You know, normally there's this something small and medium businesses. You need to empower those ones. You need to empower them. Either you give them the support they need, you give them technical support. You also demonstrate, like we talk about agriculture. And the bank, the Ministry of Agriculture do not have what we call demonstration farms. They should have farms that they demonstrate to see, so people see this is how you do cassava plantation. This is how you do coffee plantation. This is how you do this. So the farmers now see and copy that. But we don't have that. We ask people, go and farm, go and farm. How do we farm? And we don't know how to farm. You know, this small subsistence farming is something of ages. It's not the one we need to do now. Somebody should introduce some mechanized farming or something substantiated by science. If you want to farm onion, don't do traditional. This is how you do it. Show us so people can do on their own thing. Then open the market by, you see, secure roads. You release some tariff. You know, you don't have to tax. If something is produced locally here, it should be taxed less. So you encourage more production. When there is more production now, the sales will kick in. And then you charge those who are coming outside with goods, charge them high so they don't bring it. You encourage us here so that here in Al Jazeera, here, there is a lot of products. Do come there. But because of the dollar equivalent, so now you can buy a bunch of greens in equivalent to dollar. Whereas they are all local here. But they are seeing that people who bring these goods from overseas, they are charging in dollar. So that's why they charge in dollar too. Because dollar become now everything, because they what we call multiplier. The one pound buy this and buy these, eggs buy tomatoes buy farm buy this. So this multiplier is actually count in dollar. So that's why there's nothing actually improving until we stop the import of perishable goods and encourage our people to produce. Open the markets by securing roads. Now if you go to Western Equatoria, there's so much vegetable this time, but roads are bad. There is insecurity, the roads are not good. So you don't know, but then markets are not, people have not been encouraged to do their own local marketing. And that's why I was suggesting, and some of the people in the States, please, what we call community markets, where you have to create a weekend or weekly market. People who bring the products, they sell. Now you're opening up the market, so people come, oh yeah, if I want to buy groundnuts, I'll go to this market and I'll get them. You buy, secure them to the main road, and then they can come to Juba. Now the bag of groundnuts here in Juba is $500,000 pounds, whereas where the point of production is maybe 100,000. So there's money here, but we have not actually come and promote this. We need to promote our local produce ourselves.